Hey, what is up? It is Xantho, and today we're doing an update on my Hexblack Blackflame build, Occultist. I dropped, because some people in the subreddit were complaining that, oh, I had double elevated gear, which I forgot I had on there from a previous build. But I just have -9 chaos res here, no double elevation, no faster ignites. This is Awakener Orbed. This is not Awakener Orb. This is just... The only thing Awakener Orbed here is actually just the chest. And that's the only thing that's Awakener Orbed. Is just the chest. There are some influence gear. For example, the crown is Hunter, -9 chaos res. And I do have Hunter fire damage over time molt on gloves, which is the T1, the new T1 fire damage over time molt. This might run you a couple X, maybe less than that if you're crafting yourself with fossils. You probably just do some aberrant fossils. Not aberrant, what's the one? Scorched fossils for the fire. I'm not sure if that's the best way to craft them. Check out Craft of Exile just to confirm. And then just a faster ignite boots, which probably shouldn't be too expensive. And then just a +1 intelligence skill gems amulet, which I have the buff for ignite, and then I have the doom multiplier. Considering I don't have any doom set on my hex, and it skips from 160 to 200 on the current PoB. It doesn't go to 180. And then I have the Hex 7 Flick 10 plus 10 Doom, which is the new Essence of Delirium mod. So you just want to run Essence of Delirium until you get either one of three things: Intelligence skill gems, Chaos skill gems, or Fire damage over time multiplier. All three are good. The plus level Intelligence skill gems and Chaos skill gems are better. But if you get Fire for damage over time multiplier, stop. Because that's pretty good. You should probably just stop and stay with that. Black Flame, Void Scepters. These are pretty nasty scepters, but I do have a cheaper version that I'm going to show you of the entire build that doesn't use pretty much hardly any of this influence stuff. So yeah, I dropped that. I dropped down to 8 million ignite DPS because I dropped some blowback clusters, and I dropped Swift Affliction from my main links in favor of Hypothermia. Swift Affliction is currently bugged in PoB. Watch, I can turn it off. It's supposed to give 25% less duration of ailments. I got 5.97 ignite duration. Turn it on. 5.97 ignite duration, which means I'm not actually getting 54 million damage per ignite. I'm getting 54,387,991 times 0.75. I'm only getting 40 million per ignite, which is a big difference. Big difference. So I'm going to go Hypothermia and get 47 million damage per ignite for almost 48 million damage per ignite. So 8 more million damage per ignite, and your ignites last 6 seconds instead of like 4, 3.5 or so, or whatever they last with Swift Affliction. Next, let's do 5.97 times 0.75. 4.4 seconds. Which is solid, but I want longer ignites and more damage per ignite because it's just better quality of life on bossing. Like, it's 20% less damage, or actually more like 15% less damage because it's going from 9 million to 8 million. But you're getting more damage per ignite, like 8 more million damage per ignite, and longer damage ignites, so you have to reapply your Hex Blast less often. A lot less often, like 50% less often, going from 4.4 to 6. That's a big difference. So I've done that. Now I will go to my cheap version, which has about 3.9 million ignite and 24.6 million per ignite. And this has only two prop large clusters, and then just Circling Oblivion Smoking Remains. And if you check Craft of Exile, why is that Burning Bright? That shouldn't be Burning Bright, that should be Smoking Remains. Doesn't make too much of a difference. But save that because that was an error. And I took out the Watcher's Eye and just replaced it with an 8% fire damage over time multiplier jewel. So no Watcher's Eye. I took away a couple life nodes, dropped me to 4,700 life. So to bring to 93 instead of 97. Because 97 is it's pretty high for the average player. Most players don't get their characters leveled that high. So I'm over a more modest 93 target. So no Watcher's Eye, 2 prop, large clusters. And these Smoke and Remain Circling Oblivions are pretty cheap. Circling Oblivion has a pretty high weighting to it. If you check Craft Exile, there's a pretty high weighting to it. You cannot really fossil craft it though. You can't really like fossil craft it because it doesn't have any like relevant tags. But if you just reroll fire, you're gonna eventually get something with fire like blowback, smoke and remains, something else with Circling Oblivion. Or you can just straight up buy Smoke and Remain Circling Oblivion because they're gonna drop pretty commonly because the weighting on both of these is not that really that bad. So I've done that. I'm running a Mart of Innocence, just a Blizzard Crown with no influence mods on it at all. So as you can see, it's just life. Fel Regalia, there's one influence mod, just additional curse, because you're going to need the additional curse for punishment and despair as well as flammability. Or combust, or conductivity, or frostbite. All three of those have the anomalous quality for +5 to maximum doom. Your most expensive item is probably going to be your level 4 enhanced, which is going to be an extra 2. I'm not sure how expensive enhances are going to be, but they're way cheaper than like enlightens and empowers for level 4. So, especially now after Valrach's Fire, not Valrach's Fire, Divergent Berserk has been nerfed. Enhances have dropped in price a lot because Divergent Berserk was broken overpowered a couple leagues ago. Because he was giving like 45-50% more spell damage or something like that. It was pretty ridiculous. So, Hex Blast, Combustion, Deadly Amulets, Burning Damage, Unbound Amulets, Hypothermia, no Awakened Gems. And I have this at 25 too, because that's basically the buff, the base damage buff that it's going to get is about equivalent to level 25 for a level 21 Hex Blast. Because they get the numbers level 20, which would be about 24, but I'm going for level 21 Hex Blast, which would be about 25. And I pick up the Divergent version. It's extra damage with ailments. Not sure how expensive the Divergent version is. Probably going to be pretty expensive. So if you don't have that, your damage is a little less. But pick up a Divergent version if you can. Besides that, nothing much has changed. You know. You can still pick up these rings for pretty cheap. The Ignite Steel damage 12% faster. Synth Implicit. It's actually 10% faster than you quality it up with a Catalyst. I can't remember which Catalyst. You can figure it out yourself. The belt's still pretty bad. The Amulet just has the 10 time maximum doom. So you just slap one singular Essence of Delirium on it and you're done. That's it. That's all you got to do for the cheap version. Just slap an Essence of Delirium on it and you have that 10 maximum doom and you're good. And then anoint it with Burning Brutality. These boots are just life, res, and movement speed. This is just life, and res. This has an additional curse. This is the only influence mod. Most of this is terrible gear. Like, it's not terrible. It's solid. Like, I do have cluster jewel setup and everything, but these cluster jewels shouldn't be that expensive. They're not hard to make with fossils or reforge. In Harvest, they're really not that hard to make. You just gotta buy the base. The base is probably gonna be like 15C, 10C to get the base, and then you can probably put like 30C in fossils, and you can probably make one of these 2 prop elemental or fire cluster jewels for probably like 40C a piece, and you only need 2 of them, so it's like 80C. Not that much, really not that much for like a week into League or so. And then you can slowly upgrade your gear to the endgame version where you're popping off, 50 million damage ignites. But I think 4 million ignite DPS and about 25 million damage ignites is pretty damn solid. That's way more than solid. That's really good. The one thing it hinges on how expensive Blackflame is, because Blackflame may be really expensive. Yeah, I know it was pretty freaking expensive in, let's see, in Expedition. Let's go black. God, I can't type. Started out at 221C first day. You're probably not going to have it first day, and then it dropped to like 13. So that's achievable. That's really not that bad. You can probably get it day 2 for like 10C. Expect that was an Expedition. It's probably going to be increased in price now that E and EO are gone. So I expect this to be doubled in price, maybe even tripled in price. So expect maybe 30C, which is still doable by day 2 if you're playing a lot. And it's on a weekend, so if you took the day off on Friday, you can probably muster up 30C by day 2. So to get Blackflame. And before that, I do have a leveling guide in the PoE I'm going to post. The eventual endgame PoB that I'm going to post after patch notes. And I have a bit of a leveling guide here I'm kind of slapping together. So I have that. That's going to be a leveling guide with links and everything you need to know. I'm bad with these things. Like you can make a certain color, You can do that, except then you have to change it for every time you want to change the color back to normal again. So it's pretty annoying. Like you gotta go. Let's see turn that to blue, and turn that back into turn that to. And now I've messed everything up, haven't I? Let me just Control Z all that. Okay. But that is that. That's the cheap build. That's the new update. So there it is. Peace out.